Warning, this game contains gratuitous displays of sarcastic British humor and optional murder. Viewer discretion is advised. Prepare your sight sockets for this game, cause it's coming in hot! Welcome, I'm TinyGuard, and I'll be your Game Pass guide. Today, the Procession to Calvary. The Procession to Calvary is a point-and-click adventure game where you explore collages of Renaissance paintings, talk to questionable characters, and solve inventory-based puzzles. The previous game, The Last Four Things, set in motion a holy war between the immortal John in the north and Heavenly Pete in the south. The Procession to Calvary is labeled as a spiritual successor, not a direct sequel, so you don't have to play The Last Four Things to enjoy The Procession to Calvary. There is a little callback at the beginning acknowledging the first game. See, John here was the old protagonist and has now ascended to Immortal John. Anyway, now the holy war is over, which means no more murder. But murder is fun. Murder is all we know. Immortal John didn't actually kill Heavenly Pete, so the only way for the war to truly be over is for somebody to murder Pete. It just so happens we love murder. So begins our quest to the south! The Procession to Calvary, which I'm just going to call Calvary from now on because my mouth is getting dry from saying the procession. Yes, Calvary is a point-and-click adventure game, which means roaming around town to talk to NPCs and figure out how to get items to appease them so you can advance. I played this on console, but I'd recommend PC if possible because it is a point-and-click game. These can be frustrating using a controller's joystick, but Calvary has surprisingly acceptable controller support. You can slow or accelerate your cursor with the bumpers, which makes precision clicking a lot easier. When you click an object, you're presented with 3 verb coins, which can easily be selected with a D-pad.
Damn, boy, he's thick!
You still have to scroll your cursor to the top of the screen to access your inventory though, and I feel that was a missed opportunity to just add an inventory button and again use the D-pad to navigate the inventory. A very small quality of life change like that would be nice, but it's definitely not game breaking. I just have to nitpick because I'm doing a review. Speaking of nitpicks, this game could benefit from voice acting. The lack of voice acting though is justified when you learn this game was made entirely by one guy, Joe Richardson. The puzzles are fun, and their solutions lean into the game's eccentric sense of humor. Puzzle games struggle to have replayability because you've already learned the solutions, but in Calvary there is some element of replayability due to its multiple endings and 2 very different styles of play. For example, you can help these crestfallen knights
Gives me conniptions.
so that they vote for this man to give you his crutches. You can solve clever puzzles peacefully, or you can murder everyone. The real fun of this game comes from its sense of humor. Calvary describes itself as Python-esque, which is very apparent from its art style and comedy. For you Zoomers, there was this comedy group called Monty Python, which used a similar style of repurposing Renaissance paintings into silly animations between their sketches. Go watch Monty Python and the Holy Grail. It's good, trust me.
Calvary has some jokes that are in your face, like this woman selling commemorative t-shirts of your crucified loved ones using their face from their actual severed heads. Bitch, what the fuck?
Or subtler ones, like how these musicians are titled Horny Men, next to a bush of big old berries. Dick jokes! The world is so absurd, but everyone is so nonchalant about it all, making it a surreal comedy. When these cardinals ask for bribes of jewelry, and a young, supple boy,
I'm gonna look for a guy with a round, muscular butt.
everyone just accepts it. The main character has some mild protesting, but we go along with it. Time to go find a young, supple boy to shove into your inventory. The creator of Calvary, Joe Richardson, wears his Python inspiration proudly. He's also great about citing his sources in the game. The game's soundtrack is composed of classical music, and each piece's name can be discovered by observing the musician in that area. I know the main character's mission is just to murder Heavenly Pete, but it became my personal mission to applaud every musician in the game. Yay! Yay, you did it! Good job! Sounds great! But there's no achievement for that, sadly. There's also a museum that shows every piece of artwork that Richardson used to create the landscapes and characters of Calvary. This museum is utilized in some of the puzzles in clever ways that give you incentive to go and appreciate the original artwork. I thought that was a really nice touch, which showed respect for the artwork, even if some of the artwork was chosen purely on how ridiculous it looks. This is a story and puzzle-based game, so I feel there's not much more I can say without ruining the experience. I don't want to give away the punchlines. In summary, The Procession to Calvary is a delightfully peculiar game that is a love letter to classic adventure games like Monkey Island and the comedy greats of Monty Python. So, should you play this game? Yes, of course. It clocks in about 2 to 3 hours for your first playthrough, so it's short enough that it doesn't overstay its welcome. The jokes don't have enough time to get old. The puzzles are interesting, but not so challenging that you'd give up. Calvary puts entertainment first. You can have multiple save slots to discover the different endings, or again, you can fly through this game quite quickly once you've learned the solutions to the puzzles. Even if you don't enjoy the humor, oh god, the humor is so British, you can still appreciate the artwork and the skillful stitching of environments by Richardson. I can guarantee you've never played a Renaissance painting before, so what are you waiting for? Go out there and legally murder. Thank you so much for watching. If you discovered me with this video, hi, I'm TinyGuard. I review games on the Game Pass. Remember to like and subscribe for more, and let me know what game you'd like to see next down in the comments. You've been watching TinyGuard, and I'll see you in the next one.